Hey everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Serwe. I'm going to give you just a full heads up. This is my first time doing live streaming here at First Alert 6. So if I'm kind of clicking around trying to figure out what I'm doing here, there's a reason, but there's also a reason why I'm jumping on because we do have severe weather moving into eastern Nebraska, and it could be enough that you want to pay attention as we go through this evening. Here's why I'm concerned. You can see Omaha and Lincoln right here. We do have these two severe thunderstorm warnings. I'll put the information up on your screen here. And we have one severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Butler and Seward County. So it's southern Butler, northern Seward County. It's actually going through Seward right now. This goes until 6:15. So the official warning goes for another 15 minutes or so. And it has 60-mile-an-hour winds, 1-inch hail. There's a lot of pictures I'm seeing from this, and again, I'm not so well versed in streaming, so I'm not going to be able to pull in those pretty pictures, but you have to take my word for it. There are people watching this storm, and it looks very photogenic coming through the Seward area with kind of a little shelf cloud and a little bit of hail behind that as well. So there's the severe thunderstorm warning, and I'll zoom in here, and the reason why I'm concerned is, well, severe weather's always a concern, but there's an outdoor concert at Memorial Stadium. And the VIP, the fancy people, that would be me if it was a show I was going to be going to. They were let in at 5:15. The general admission crowd also was let in at 5:30. So there are people potentially on the field at Memorial Stadium as this approaches. And I'll put the lightning on. A lot of lightning with this. Lightning is the biggest concern with any type of outdoor event and storms coming in, but we also have some pretty gusty winds. I'll zoom in a little bit more here. Thankfully, we're not seeing rotation. That's not what we want to see with a storm like this. I'll change. Let me change the source here real quick, and because I want to be able to see the speed. There we go. Storm relative velocity. Let's see if we can click a couple of those. 51-mile-an-hour winds, leading edge of it. Again, this is the radar. Radar's not always gospel, but it gives us a good idea of what's happening. You can see 40, 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts out ahead of that. So it does have the potential to produce some strong winds, lots of lightning. Let's look at the hail potential on this as well. Right in Seward, I'm going to bring up National Weather Service chat on my phone just so I'm able to see this. That's where we have over 1-inch hail, so that's severe hail right there. And as I mentioned, the Seward County Emergency Management was on this, so I'm going to see if there was any, let's see, nickel-sized hail and larger. That was the last report we had on this. Lots of eyes on this storm in parts of Seward and Butler County. Let's go back to the radar. Let's put a track on this. You can see there's another severe thunderstorm warning down to the south. So at the very least, I'll tell you what, and let's see if I can bring myself back on cam here. Ooh, this is interesting. Let's try this. Yes, there we go. See, I'm learning. This is, you're seeing fish out of water right here. But if you know someone who's at Memorial Stadium, do me a favor. Text them, call them. I am someone, I have been on the rail at Lollapalooza 4 times. One time with thunderstorms coming in. Thankfully, they parted and Radiohead was able to play. I was at the Beyonce show at Soldier Field with the severe thunderstorm that delayed the show, and we were there until trains didn't run. I am a big live music person, but I'm also a meteorologist, and I also know what these storms can do. So if you know someone who's at that concert, text them, call them, tell them someone who's just as passionate about being at live shows is telling you to tell them to be safe. If officials are saying to get off the field or get out of the bowl and seek shelter in the concourse, there's a reason for that. There absolutely is a reason for that. There have not been I'm trying to think. There was one lightning fatality last week in the Milwaukee area, somewhere between Milwaukee and Madison. I can't remember exactly what it was. But we haven't had a lightning fatality at a stadium like this in the U.S. in a long time. It happens all over the world, The U.S. isn't special when it comes to lightning. Lightning doesn't care where you are. So it is so important to take it seriously. Gusty winds, heavy rain, even a little bit of hail, yeah, you can make it through that. Lightning, don't mess with that. So that's why I'm jumping on the stream here, because I want to be able to tell people. Let's see if I can do that again. Maybe? Ooh, did I do something? Weather 1. I might have lost my ability to bring the graphics back up. Let's see. So I hit that. I know I hit that. Bear with me for a second. I'm going to figure it out. I can see it right here. Ha 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 ha. Let's try that. Oh, that'll work. Good call. Thank you, Jackson. Appreciate it. All right, now I'm going to do this just to practice it. There's that. There's that. All right. Haha. Learning here. So there are the severe thunderstorm warnings. I can almost guarantee that there's going to be some sort of weather impacting Memorial Stadium as we go through this evening. The timing of it could be pretty tough. I'll put this on a loop so you can see kind of the direction where it's going. You have one kind of trailing off to the northwest or the northeast through Seward. That might clip Memorial Stadium there. But then you have another one coming up from the south, another line that's also moving in that direction. If I put let's stop it here. Let's put the live radar back up. I'm going to put a big old squall line track on this and give it a second. This is moving off to the northeast. Let me double check the latest warning here so I have this speed correct. This is going to the northeast at 30 miles an hour. So yes, this is still about the same. So it looks like the line is not going to be in Lincoln until just about 7 o'clock. Now, that's the reason why it says 7 o'clock. It's kind of this area right here that little squall line is picking up on for maybe getting close to Lincoln. But you see that whole line is going to be moving east. So the lightning could be coming in before the rain. So I would say at the very least by 6:30, I would want people inside Memorial Stadium, at least off the field there. But this is when I think the leading edge of the strong winds, the severe wind gusts that could be with this, it would be getting into Milford by 6:15, Dorchester 6:19, Malcolm just about 6:30, Crete 6:43, Wilbur 6:50, Ceresco 6:52, and then Wahoo and Lincoln, different parts of this line, before 7 o'clock. That is what you can expect with this line of storms as it pushes in. Now, if you're watching this from the Omaha Metro, you're saying, I don't care about Lincoln. You should have empathy. But also, you can see that line, if it keeps moving off to the northeast, it would be moving into the Metro. And I'll come back out here on camera to say, if it does move into the Omaha Metro, I will be jumping on TV, maybe briefly, depending on where we are at with NBA playoff basketball. I don't want to cover up too much of that because I know a lot of people have a vested interest in that. However, if there's severe weather coming into the Metro and we have reports of big hail, strong winds, yeah, I'm going to be covering up basketball. Or if we have a tornado report, very low chance that we see tornadoes with this. But yes, once again, I would be cutting into programming for that. But right now, it is just after 6 o'clock. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Serwe here on the live desk, and we're tracking a line of storms moving into southeastern Nebraska. There are 2 severe thunderstorm warnings right now. The northernmost one, that is for Butler and Seward County. This goes, this goes until 6:15, and that's the one that's going to come close to Lincoln probably within the next half hour to 45 minutes, mostly just a lightning issue in Lincoln there. If you are in northern Lancaster, southwestern Saunders County, southwest of Wahoo, you could also be seeing about 1-inch hail or 60-mile-an-hour winds as this storm pushes through. We have another one down to our south. I'll zoom in here, pushing toward Saline County and get that information. There you go. This does include just a corner of Seward County. So let's be real. This is mostly for Saline County, extreme northern Jefferson County. This goes until 6:45 for 1.25 inch hail, so about $half sized hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Again, these are all radar indicated, but we have been getting reports sporadically from people who are out watching this storm that have been saying up to nickel-sized hail, penny-sized hail. Let's see, those were the last reports. But this is a very photogenic line, especially that one coming through Seward. The southern part of the line, if I click the hail, you can see that's where we have a little bit more of a hail potential there. Let's click on let's see what it is here. Hail potential there, west of Saline County, about 1 inch or so, a little more than that. So that's what we're probably going to see on the southern one. Let's check out the winds. The winds don't look... This is going to be for... Well, okay, we're switching back and forth here. This is the Hastings radar. If you see this happening, this means it's closer to the Hastings radar. If you see it jump like this, it means it's closer to the radar site in Valley. Let's go to storm relative velocity and take a look at some of these values here. 47-mile-an-hour winds... 22. Now, keep in mind, this is way far away from the radar site. So this is shooting way up inside the thunderstorm. We're usually not going to get very good wind speed data like that because it's several thousand feet up. Let's do that again with the Hastings radar because that one might be giving us a better idea. No, not so much. Again, yeah, it's still really high up. I'm not going to put too much stock in that. We do have the potential for 50 to 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with this as it pushes through. The hail, again, that down there, that hail core, that's something to keep an eye on if it tracks to the north and east through Lincoln because that has 1 inch hail with it. Overall, as we go through the remainder of the evening, I'll put this on a big loop here, and you can see where we have the motion of these storms. They are slowly pushing to the north and east at about 30 miles an hour. So if you're in the Omaha metro, 30 miles, let's stop this right here. Get out my handy-dandy ruler. So if it's moving at about 30 miles an hour off to the northeast, that means it should be getting close to at least the west metro by about 7:45, 8 o'clock. Downtown Omaha probably by about 9 o'clock. So those are the times where kind of got to be weather aware in Omaha. I don't expect this to have too much energy to work with, to be honest with you. Dew points are still in the upper 40s and low 50s. It's not a lot of moisture to feed these storms. I do have dew points here. How lovely. Let's take a look at these dew points. Current dew points, 40s and 50s. That's not a lot of moisture for thunderstorms, especially severe thunderstorms, and we're losing daylight. So we're losing a key energy source here for these thunderstorms. And as far as temperatures go, upper 60s, low 70s, not a lot of energy. Plenty of cold air. You can see the other side of this front, 48 Columbus, 48 in Norfolk. But yeah, these severe storms, they're going to be struggling to kind of maintain as they move off to the north and east. And that's some good news. It would be great if all we do is squeeze out a little bit of rain out of this and all they have is maybe a couple of lightning strikes and they kind of fizzle out as they continue to push east. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to be impacted by this in Lincoln. And that's why I want to jump on. If you, again, if you know someone who's at the Zach Bryan show, text them, call them, let them know. Don't mess with this. Organizers are not, I'm seeing this radar. Organizers are not going to let the show start at 7 if this moves in, because then they just have to pull everyone back, and it's just a colossal pain. Chances are they're going to delay it, and eventually that line is going to push through, and it's going to be a matter of all this stuff behind it. If we see anything that's back York, south of Grand Island, if that develops and maintains after sunset, okay, we could be looking at a longer delay, and we might be asking, what are the noise curfew rules for Memorial Stadium? Because it could be a pretty late night. It could be a pretty late night in Lincoln if that continues. If you're watching the stream and you're up toward Blair, toward Tacoma, West Point, Scribner, that's some beneficial soaking rain. Congratulations, farmers up there. Nice soaking rain, couple rumbles of thunder. That's about it. In the Omaha Metro, I know on my drive in earlier this afternoon, there were a couple of little raindrops, and that's all we're seeing right now a little after 6 o'clock. The only severe weather still is from just south of David City, Butler County, through Seward County, snaking into Saline County right now. And that line, that's the photogenic part of this line. Coming through Seward, Garland, heading toward Malcolm right now, south of Dwight. Everyone's favorite town that kind of exists, B, something I remember from my first go around here in Omaha. But you can see this Boeing segment. That is where we're going to have the potential for the strongest winds. Strongest winds coming through right there, and it's going to keep moving off to the north and east. So near Malcolm, north of Highway 34, is where we're going to have those strong winds. Not much in the way of rotation. We're very happy to see that. We don't want to see any type of rotation with this. The red and the green together, that would show rotation. If I drag this back 30 minutes, the Weather Service was saying, okay, up toward Ulysses, maybe. Yeah, I can see that brightness, maybe a little bookend vortex right there on the north side of this storm. And yeah, you can kind of see a little red and green coming together, but it doesn't really maintain. One thing that's kind of hard for, I mentioned the dew points, it's hard for that lowering of clouds to happen when you have such dry air near the ground. And when you have dew points I showed you in the 40s and 50s, it's not going to be something that's going to sustain a tornado, but it could have maybe some brief rotation with that. The severe thunderstorm warnings kind of knocking on your door in Lancaster County. I bet we're going to see one. If there's going to be another one issued, this is me playing National Weather Service meteorologist right here. This is not an official polygon. This is my guess that we'll probably see another polygon issued soon that includes maybe Wahoo, maybe the north side of Lincoln if they really want to be. I'm curious if the Weather Service in Valley is going to be really judicious with where they put the next polygon, because if Lincoln's included, that could mean a domino effect for the people at Memorial Stadium. It could mean that they go into specific protocols of, oh, we have to get people to shelter, we have to do this, we have to do that, and the Weather Service knows what they're doing. They know whether to include Lincoln or not. But there's this whole line that's going to keep moving off to the east at about 35 miles an hour. So in Lincoln, it'll get to Lincoln probably between 6:45 and 7. If you were following me on social media earlier and I said by 6 o'clock, it looks like this is moving a little more north than east. That first warning that was issued, it said that the storm was moving directly to the east, moving a little north of east, kind of riding north right along that cold front. So that's accounting for that delay in the storm arriving in Lincoln. And it also means that it's going to take a little while longer for it to get to Omaha. National Weather Service, let's see, I'm checking chat here. Had a report of 1-inch hail in Seward just a little before 6 o'clock, so that was about 15 minutes ago. They had that report of hail. I'll go to the hail mode. Take a look at that. Zoom in here. It's a little different going through these controls not at the touchscreen. Really like the touchscreen that we have for severe weather here at First Alert 6. Really fun. The hail, yeah. They had 1-inch hail in Seward. Now radar's estimating, half-inch hail. That's sub-severe. Still something that you're going to hear outside, something that you're going to see, but it is at least below severe weather limits. So I just updated that warning. Let me go back here. About a half hour when they got that. Yeah, you see those blues? This is you can see the time at the top of your screen there, 5:45, 5:50, 6 o'clock. So that's when they got that hail report in Seward. We were seeing a lot of those blues. Not seeing that anymore. If I go to the radar, the classic radar look, I bet we're going to see a lot more of those pinks and maybe some purples. Yeah, but anytime you see the white on the radar, yeah, you better believe that's very, very heavy rainfall or at least the potential for a little bit of hail. And that's what we saw right along Highway 34, Utica towards Seward, intersecting with Highway 15 there north of the city of Seward. Then down toward Beaver Crossing, you see a little more of the purple showing up once again, and that's where we have potentially a second hail core. But this is a nice bowing structure. This is something that's going to be producing some gusty winds, and no airports in this area. I know we'll get some reports every once in a while from people who are out there and they have an anemometer in their hand, or maybe they see potentially some brief damage for some branches down, maybe something gets overturned in a farm field. But this is going to be our best chance for probably seeing some wind and strong winds here over the next 45 minutes. And yeah, you draw a line and it's heading toward at least the Omaha Metro. Not a guarantee it's going to hold together and still maintain its strength. So there's the severe thunderstorm warning, the new one. Goes until 7 o'clock. And like I said, they were going to be very judicious with this warning, and by golly, they are. Not including the city of Lincoln, but it does include northwestern Lancaster County, western Saunders County, southeastern Butler County, and still a good portion of Seward County, but for all intents and purposes, it's Seward County east of the city of Seward. 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, still radar indicated, so that means we're not getting any reports on the ground after that one that we saw in Seward, where we had 1-inch hail reported. Not seeing any real big hail cores with this. The wind speeds, once again, this is a base velocity product. This is good for seeing rotation. Storm relative, this will also help show rotation, but it also is a good idea of what the leading edge winds are with this. You can see 46, 40, 47. So we're getting close to, 45 to 55 mile an hour winds with this storm, and it'll keep moving off to the northeast. But with that bow is looking really ragged. I'll zoom out here, kind of go back a little bit, and you can see how this pulsed up, produced a bit of hail, then transition, you get the rear inflow jet, and whoosh, turns into a line, but there's really not enough energy out ahead of it to sustain it. It's kind of outrunning the cold front here. The cold front itself is going to be, let me draw it in here, cold front itself is going to be coming through, whoop, can't go that high, my bad. Cold front itself is right there, so it's getting out ahead of that cold front. If this was right along the front, maybe it could still maintain those updrafts, maintain that upward trajectory. But since it's getting out ahead of that front, this line will likely at least lose a little strength, but still could produce some small hail, gusty winds. And again, the key issue here is lightning. You can see all those lightning strikes are going to be heading toward Lincoln and toward Omaha. It would have to weaken a lot for us to see at least the lightning threat disappear with these storms. Let's see. I'm going to take a look at weather service chat. My phone has also been blowing up. I'm just making sure that no one's, because I have friends who are at Memorial Stadium. Let's see. No additional reports. Jackson's over here, and could you check to see if there's any updates from Memorial Stadium, if they have put out information about hey, we're delaying the show, because like I said, I'm a little, this is very new for me right here, so I'm not I don't have all the different social media sources in front of me that I could check to see this, that, or the other. I'm kind of just relying on my phone right here, and but I thought it was important enough that I wanted to get on the live stream and be a resource for people. Jackson.
Due to impending thunderstorms, we are delaying opening doors to the show until the weather has passed.
Until the weather has passed, they're delaying opening doors. When did that get sent out? 6:06. 6:06. Interesting. Okay. So like I said, I was looking to see when I shot a video earlier this morning, I wanted to see when the gates opened. VIP general admission was 5:15, regular admission was 5:30, and the show started at 7. I know there's one more opener. My sincere apologies, I can't remember who that opener is. And then it was Kings of Leon, and then it was Zach Bryan. So it looks like they're delaying opening the gates. So that kind of changed the situation here. I'll go back to the radar here. So this is why I wanted to jump on the stream. This is not an immediate issue in Omaha, even though if you're watching us on Channel 6, yes, you see the crawl up, you see the little radar bug too, and no, NBA fans, I'm being very careful. I'm not covering up the score. I'm very very aware of that. But I wanted to jump on the stream because this could impact a big outdoor event. And the more information I can get out there, the more people who are watching it, and the more opportunities I give people to watch it and get that information, I want them to have that. That's one of my big things when it comes to weather. I want people to be prepared, informed, and stay safe. And when you have, I don't know how many tickets they sold, but Memorial Stadium, they got 92,003 people in there for volleyball. I got to imagine it's at least 70,000 for Zach Bryan there. But that's tens of thousands of people outdoors when we have lightning coming in, the potential for strong winds, and the potential for a little bit of hail. Thankfully, the tornado potential seems to be extremely low with this. I mentioned that before. I'll go back here to, where did it go? Where are my dew points? Where are my background singers? There we go. Dew points. Like I said, dew points that are in the 40s and low 50s. That is really dry air. You're not going to get the condensation to form with air that dry toward the ground to get a tornado. It takes very, very, very specific circumstances to get a tornado with temperatures this cold. Even though you can see a couple of little notches in there. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just checking to see what. Yeah, so getting more information about the doors being delayed. So I kind of didn't finish my thought there. So let me finish my thought. If you know someone who is waiting in line for Zach Bryan at Memorial Stadium, this is not something you want to be outside for because lightning and outdoor venues, yes, you could say everything's taller around me, it's going to strike something else. You don't want to take that chance. My recommendation is to go back to the car, to just wait it out inside the car, let it pass, and then as soon as you see the lightning go past, you jump out and you sprint toward the front of that line again if you're a general admission person. Again, I say this as someone who has, I've slept on the streets of Chicago for concert tickets back in the day. I have driven 13 miles one way to see a show and then driven back 13 hours the next day just because I love the band. I'm a very big music nerd. I say this out of love. You don't want to risk it if organizers are saying, hey, it's too dangerous for you to be here. You listen to them, you stay safe, and you let the storms pass, and then you go have a crazy good time seeing a show. And it's gonna be a late night. You're probably gonna be a little delirious. I went through that with Beyonce at Soldier Field. It was weird having a show start at 11:45, but boy, was it worth it. It absolutely was. So please, listen to organizers, listen to your music nerd local meteorologist right here, and stay safe. That's all I ask of you. All right, so let's get back to it. That's the button. The storms, still a good, switch cursors here. Let's get the ruler on here. So we are leading edge of the lightning, still about, let me get a better, hold on, let me get a better track on that. Let me see where these are moving. I want to be able to, yeah, they're kind of going a little more east now. So that's, as far as having them clear Lincoln faster, that's some good news. I like that. All right, let's go live. And let's put that ruler back on there. So the leading edge is still probably about 20 miles away from Lincoln. So that means by 7 o'clock, that line is going to be affecting Lincoln as far as the rain goes. Remember, lightning is a bigger issue out ahead of that. And that's the reason I was hoping I wouldn't need this graphic, but, so let me take this off real quick. This is a 10-mile circle around Memorial Stadium. Why 10 miles, you ask? Well, that is what research says is the farthest, well, the average, let's say the average distance from a thunderstorm where lightning can still strike. People sometimes call those bolts from the blue, where they strike way far away from the parent thunderstorm. Usually 10 to 12 miles is the radius that stadiums and outdoor officials will use when they're talking about lightning safety and when to keep fans away from away from impending weather. So that's why I have a 10-mile circle around Memorial Stadium. In theory, if there's any lightning inside that circle, boom, you see another lightning bolt getting close there, just south of Milford. Any lightning inside that circle would prompt a delay for the Huskers. It would prompt a delay for this show. And if I put this in motion, let's see. Let's loop that real quick. You can see it's moving into that circle. There's no way that this line is going to pass without getting some sort of a lightning strike inside that circle. So that's why they are delaying letting people into Memorial Stadium, and why people should, if you want to go, walk to, there are a couple walkable bars to Memorial Stadium. If you want to go all the way down to Haymarket and ride this out inside an establishment there, go right ahead. If you want to wait in your car in the parking lot, do that as well. But that's what you should be doing. You will see this line of storms move through, and it will bring lightning and heavy rainfall. If you're watching the stream in the Omaha Metro, the rain's going to be coming in. We will see rain this evening. If you have anything outdoors happening in the next probably hour and a half, 2 hours, so through sunset, great news there. Once the sun goes down, people usually go inside a little bit. If you got an outdoor dinner reservation, you've been dealing with a couple of sprinkles here or there. Let's put this on a loop over the last half hour. A couple of sprinkles just went through downtown, went through Council Bluffs, a couple more heading toward Oakland. Northeast Nebraska, steadier rain anywhere from Ottawa to West Point. And this is, if this could have gone just a little bit more west, that would really help for the drought situation. But any rain, good rain this time of year. And then as you head farther to the south, you get heavier rain along the Platte River from North Bend, Schuyler, Columbus, down into Platte County. And then the severe thunderstorm. Look at that. Okay, this is a half-hour loop. You see how those purples just disappear? I realize that I don't have a cursor here, so let me... Donde está el cursor? No, I don't have a cursor built on this, so that's something I'm going to need to do. Let's draw it on here. Watch this line right here in that general area. See how the purples disappear? That's a weakening line of storms. So that's why I'm not... Thankfully, congratulations, basketball fans, and my own sanity, and people who answer phones in the newsroom. We're probably going to make this, get out of this without severe weather in Omaha, without any type of severe weather interruptions. That's my hope, seeing the trend on the radar, and I showed you those dew points that are, the higher dew points in the low to mid-50s are well to our south, and with the sun going down, we also lose that type of forcing for it. Now, as I look down to the south of Milford, I want to stop this because that's a little concerning right there. What I'm watching, I'll put this on a loop so you can, this is the red and green, so I'm looking right about here. Kind of almost like a Pepsi logo swirl if it was red and blue, but that's the swirl I'm looking at. I'll clear that off, and you can kind of see, I'll just kind of like toggle it back and forth. You see how it kind of swirls there? Forward in time, back in time, forward in time. So there might be some very broad rotation with that storm. Lightning strikes, let's go the last 30 minutes. Let's see if there's... Lightning is always a good indicator of a storm that's strengthening. And, here, I'll just loop it. I think that'll be a better... Yeah. Lightning's still staying about the same, maybe slightly fewer strikes, but you can see that notch there south of Milford. I'm going to bring up Chad again and see... Let's see. There we go. I'm just reading along. I know. Here, I'll bring myself back on campus. You can see I'm just literally reading my phone here with National Weather Service chat on Slack. That's what I'm doing. I know reading stuff on a live stream really doesn't make for the best entertainment, but it's exactly what I'm doing. Emergency manager, 5 minutes ago, the emergency manager in Lancaster said, yeah, they're trying to figure out what to do for the people at the Zach Bryan show. They're discussing issuing another warning for this imminently. and whether or not they will. So let's go back to... and Nick, if you happen to be watching this stream, how you do this so masterfully and seamlessly, it's an art form, and I'm really appreciating how easy you make it look here on the live desk. There's the line of storms. Okay, so still have this line of storms. Really, anywhere where you see the purple, that's where we have the potential for some severe weather. What came through Seward is maybe a little bit of hail. That little notch there south of Milford that's looking kind of mean. Maybe there's some remnant boundary that's picking up on ever so slightly. It's still maintaining that little notch, but they, as I mentioned, they have a lot of eyes on this storm, and they're going to make sure that everyone stays safe, and if there was any type of rotation, they would tell us. I'll put lightning back on. Once again, fewer lightning strikes, but there are still lightning strikes. These are any of those little lightning icons you see there. It's not cloud to cloud, anything that stays up in the cloud. This is not that. Any lightning bolt that you see on the screen right here, that is cloud to ground lightning. And that's, of course, the most concerning type when you have a massive outdoor event not too far away in Lincoln. Let's look at hail potential. Hopefully, we're not going to be dealing with hail. Still, yeah, when you start seeing those blues, you get close to 1-inch hail. So that means I have a suspicion that they're going to issue another warning here coming out for Lincoln pretty soon. And it's going to be for hail. It's going to be for the potential for gusty winds. But it should also be kind of a wake-up call to people who might be outside that, hey, something nasty is coming in, and we really should take it seriously. And that's all I can ask of people is to take it seriously. And I want you to be safe. I want you to be able to see this show. I want you to be able to see all the other shows. Come see Maha with me in August. Super excited for that. You'll get to see how ham this meteorologist goes at a concert. And don't want anything like this that night. No, do not want to deal with that. But this is what we have. We have heavy rainfall coming into western parts of Lancaster County. I'll bring up the Weather Service chat again. Oh, that looks so cool. Oh, this is where I wish I could take another. Let's see. I'm just looking at all the different buttons I can press here, and knowing I should not randomly press buttons because I will probably press the wrong one. But I'm just trying to figure out. You know what? This is what I could do. This could be. Let's try this. I have a feeling. I have a feeling I can do this. So bear with me, y'all. I think I got this. I'm going to try to bring up the Nebraska 511 cameras. Try to bring one up around Lincoln. Because I'll tell you, that I saw someone post a picture in the distance from Lincoln, and it looks awesome. And I would love to be able to find a camera here. Oh, yep. All right, let's do that. And then let me try this. No? Dang it. I thought that would work. Oh. Like I said, okay, I'm trying to make this as entertaining and informative as possible, and I'm seeing different sources here, and I'm trying to hit different buttons, and I'm hoping that it works, but it doesn't. Or at least, I shouldn't say it doesn't work. That impugns all the technology that goes into right here. Oh, wait. Okay. So how was I able to do that? And yet... Interesting. Okay. Again, I'm learning. I'm learning here. All right, so let's talk about... Regardless, the cloud looks incredibly ominous coming into Lincoln right now, with a lowering, and that should be an indication for people who are at this show to just please don't mess with anything and get yourself to safety. That's ideal. I really am concerned that people are not going to be heeding this warning because they want to enjoy a night at a show in Lincoln, and this could be... I always hope that nothing bad happens. I never want anything bad to happen, but as I go on a diatribe here, the reason I'm concerned is no, we have not had a big incident at a college football stadium, an NFL stadium, any outdoor athletic event in the U.S. where we've had a lightning death, and that's awesome. We could keep doing that. If we continue winning that lottery ticket over and over again, that's fantastic. But the more times that we put people in that situation, the more that we're risking something bad happening. And the easiest way to make sure it doesn't happen is to listen to warnings like this and just stay inside. We're not asking you to go to the basement. You're not going to miss the show or anything like that. All we're asking is that you stay inside and stay safe. Please, please, please do not become one of those statistics. We never want that. All right, let's go back to the radar. And it's getting closer to Lincoln. There's one hail core that purple showing up a little bit more around Seward on the radar. So let's take a look at the hail. Yeah, still getting close to 1-inch hail. So it's hovering right around that line in Seward County, and that'd be getting pretty close to Lincoln. Everything's moving off to the northeast at about 35 miles an hour. I'm waiting for. Oh, thank you to. Hold on, I'm seeing the text there. All right, Michael, I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to try and make something happen here where I have different inputs. Let's see, I'm just going through all the different sources I can see here. And what's really fun is it's sideways, so I have to turn my head sideways as I'm doing this. Let's see. Is that? Okay, that is that. That is that. Let's go. I'm doing it, y'all. I'm doing it. I think I got it. There we go. And then, bam, yes. Let's go. W's in the chat. This is the view from 77th and Van Dorn of that storm. And like I said, it looks really ominous. If you look at the top of your screen here, that's the lowering out ahead of that. And you might be thinking, wait, that's a tornado. That's something rotating. It's not. It doesn't always mean that. It just means that there's a lowered base, could be just kind of a scary looking cloud. It just means that things are condensing. It's making a cloud that's very dark and a little bit lower. And if it's not rotating, totally fine. Totally okay. It's just a benign, kind of scary looking cloud. Different story if it was rotating. There we go. Back to the radar. Thank you, Michael, for that, for telling me how to do that and just clicking stuff on different sources. Hopefully I can make that continue to work. So the National Weather Service is still, wow, just a number of pictures coming in here. They're still kind of discussing what they're going to do with this storm as it comes into Lincoln. Once again, in the Omaha area, just watching the rain come in, there might be some pretty, as I look out over Farnham here from our newsroom in Blackstone, I see a lot of dark clouds in the distance. I haven't seen any lightning yet, but we're okay in the Omaha metro. They just issued another warning, and this is for specifically that one with the little notch in it. So let's see what the warning text is on this. No, not you. I want you. There we go. So it's still okay. It's a base severe thunderstorm warning. That's good. It is for parts of Lancaster, Saline, and Seward counties, and this goes until 7:45. And 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds are possible, and that notch is kind of disappearing a little bit. That notch I was talking about right here, disappearing on radar. It still exists, so I'll still be keeping an eye on that. But this is being warned for 60-mile-an-hour winds and 1-inch hail. Now, if I switch over to the hail mode. And sometimes, again, this can lag a scan or two, so it might not be exactly caught up. It's picking up on half-inch size hail there, closer to 1-inch size hail on the north side of the storm. But the Weather Service is being very careful. Very careful with this storm as it approaches Lincoln. So let's put a track on it. Let me get the severe weather information on this real quick. I have to look off screen here for a second, and wow, that is slow. This is moving very slow. This is moving at 15 miles an hour. All right. Let's put a storm track on this, heading off toward Lincoln. 15 miles an hour. Gets to Pleasantdale by 7:17. 15 miles an hour seems slow. It really does, but that's what they're warning it for, so that's what I'm putting the track out for. Let me do my own. I'm going to do my own investigating here real quick. So I'm going to put this on a 30-minute loop. I've changed a couple things. All right, so here's the loop. Here's 30 minutes. How far has it moved in 30 minutes? And I apologize for doing math, but we are going to be doing math here, y'all. So we're going back 30 minutes, goes to about here. So it's moving, yeah, 15 miles an hour. That is incredibly slow, which is frustrating because it would be nice to just get this stuff to move through Lincoln as fast as possible. That would be the most ideal situation for everyone involved. If we can just have this line, book it right through Lincoln, get on the other side of Memorial Stadium, and let people enjoy their night. But you are being treated to a very cool looking cloud there in Lincoln. Let's see. All right. Finally have my Facebook page up again. Thank you if you're watching us on the First Alert 6 Facebook page. If you're watching us on my Facebook page, Matt Serwe Weather, greatly appreciate you watching this stream. If you're watching us on the First Alert 6 app, thank you so much. I've been here for 3 weeks, and I absolutely love what they do here with allowing us this ability to just jump on our app, stream, and I'm able to track this thunderstorm exactly how I would be if I was, if I was back in the weather center right now. This is exactly what I'd be doing. I'd be talking to myself. I'd be talking to people on social media and letting them know, hey, this is what's happening with the storm. And it's great that I get to do this for all of you. This is what I love doing. This is exactly what I'd be doing behind the scenes. So thanks for doing it. Thanks for being here with me. I really appreciate that. The reason I'm on this stream is because you can see the severe thunderstorm warnings lined up from north-south. And the northernmost warning, the one that includes western Saunders County, just west of the Wahoo area, that should be trimmed back very quickly here. That is really not looking dangerous at all right now. The main concern with this line is farther to the south. And the one... looks like they just issued one for Gage County, so let me stop that real quick and get information on this warning. There we go. 745, again, 1 1/4 inch hail, half dollar size hail, 60 mile an hour winds, mostly for Saline, extreme southwestern Lancaster County, and northwestern Gage County. That goes until 7:45. Again, if you are in the Wilbur area and you're watching this, if you're watching it from close to Beatrice, yeah, the storm's going to be near you probably within another hour or so. But thankfully, the trend is the northern side of this line is weakening. Just a lot of rain. Rain's good. Rain's fantastic. Great for helping the yard grow. But the southern part of this line, where we have the dew points that are just a little bit higher, and I'm going to do a hard cut here to show you those dew points. Again, dew points in the low to mid 50s. That's not a lot, but it's enough that maybe we could get some thunderstorms to maintain a little while longer. But that's not going to be something that produces catastrophic hail or really strong winds, or even it could struggle to get tornadoes. But the unfortunate part of this is that this line is going to clip Lincoln on a night where there's a lot of people outside right now. There's a lot of people at Memorial Stadium still in the parking lot, and some of them might still be in line, which again, if you know someone who's in line in Lincoln, if you had someone who was saying, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, I'm going to go tailgate, I'm going to do this and that before the Zach Bryan show, and maybe they were knocking back a lot of refreshments in the parking lot of Memorial Stadium, as one is to do when tailgating, just try to rationalize with them, tell them, hey, this is a serious situation, just go back to the car, wait it out, I promise you this will move through, and we will have a quieter night. You can see there's a little bit of development back off to the west of York. What we're not seeing, I'll put lightning on here again. Just one little tail of lightning as it switches to the Grand Island radar, or the Hastings radar, pardon me. It's really going to be this one line, and then fingers crossed that we're able to see a lot of weakening once the sun goes down. We still have that one hail core that's hanging on, the one hail core that can, coming out of Seward right along Highway 34. That would be the one that rides kind of right into Lincoln, half-inch size hail there. And let's take a look at the rainfall. The 1-inch rainfall totals here. 1-inch rain totals. I have to click that one more time to get it back here. Now, if you were watching me for severe weather coverage in the Omaha Metro on Thursday, I said this a lot. If these are places where there have been hail reports, it might be skewing a little bit higher. But an inch and a half, yeah, not out of the question here. That's another reason that you should, the lightning should be enough for you to get into the car. But another reason why you want to wait this out inside, you're going to get absolutely soaked with this as it comes through. You have the potential for small hail. You have the potential for lightning. You have the potential for gusty winds, and just a drenching amount of rain. And it's not. So I promise I'll stop bringing up my Beyonce experience back in May of last year. But we got soaked at that show. We were in the concourses of Soldier Field, and people are football fans around here. You've watched NFL games. You know Soldier Field's completely open to the west side. They have the columns, and it looks really cool. Not the best for blocking rain, let me tell you that. We were absolutely soaked once that line came through. And behind it, it was still in the 70s, I think, for most of the show, even after midnight. So it was okay to be kind of wet and with temperatures in the 70s. The temperatures right now in Omaha, or in southeast Nebraska, as I go back, look at these temperatures once it goes through. 58 Wahoo, 48 Columbus. You don't want to be wet and outside trying to enjoy a show in temperatures like that. No. That is uncomfortable. So there's all sorts of reasons why you just want to, just let this pass. Lightning, heavy rain, hail, your comfort through the rest of the night. I'm trying to appeal to you as a human and as a music fan. Because I would want to enjoy the show and just not be shivering the whole time. So let's go back to the radar here, and get back to it. I showed you this graphic a little bit earlier if you've been with us, but I make these with reason, and I'm going to make one for Haymarket for the Huskers baseball is pretty much the same as Memorial Stadium. I'll make one for the Storm Chasers at Warner Park. I'll make one for the College World Series in Creighton at Charles Schwab Field. 10 miles is generally the distance from a storm that a lightning bolt can still strike. And so a lot of organizers for outdoor events, for concerts, for stadiums, they usually use anywhere between a 10 and a 12-mile radius. And different organizations, the NCAA has one that's specific for the College World Series and football stadiums. The MLS has one. MLB should have one. Why they don't is beyond me. But this is the safe zone. If you have a lightning strike that happens inside this circle, it is unsafe for people to be at Memorial Stadium. And usually what will happen for those events is any lightning strike inside that circle immediately means a half-hour delay. So you have to go at least a half hour without a lightning strike being in that circle. Now, there might be some circumstances where it's hauling away from the building, away from the stadium and the open area. And yeah, they can maybe jump the gun a little bit on here. But this is going to show you. I'll loop it here, and I'll do a half-hour loop just to make it a little easier to see. And you can see in a half hour, it still has stayed entirely in Saline County, or pardon me, Seward County. And as this moves into Lancaster County, it'll probably spend an hour or so with lightning inside that circle. So let's do a little math here. It is 6:50 right now. If it's staying about an hour with lightning inside that circle, that means that you have at least another hour to wait and maybe another 15 to 30 minutes after that for organizers to give it the all clear. So hour and 30 minutes, that means at the earliest right now, I would say that show starts 8:30-ish. 8:30 is my optimistic take. Still leaves you a pretty good night coming up at Memorial Stadium. That's what we're going to be tracking here. All right, let's go back to Omaha Metro once again. Light rain as close as Fremont, as close as Valley, maybe the north side of Waterloo, near Bennington as well. Blair is getting a little bit of rain. That severe thunderstorm warning, they still haven't canceled or at least trimmed back. I would say that anywhere north of here in that warning, that is anywhere north of there toward David City, toward Wahoo, that is nothing. That's not even strong winds right now. No, it's all farther south. So the northern part of that warning doesn't really have strength with it. Southern part of that, toward Malcolm, still has a little bit of rotation. The weakest rotation, tiniest bit of hail, half-inch hail. That's not severe. But farther to the south, there was still a hail core down toward Milford. That's kind of gone away. Ooh, that caught my eye. Bigger hail core right now. That's outside of the viewing area in northern Jefferson County, but 1.5 inch hail. That's some damaging hail. All right, reading what the Weather Service has typed. Yeah, they mentioned the storm near Dakin. Currently looks unlikely that they will reissue the warning. Okay. Now, that's the first bit of good news, that they won't reissue a warning. And I want to caution you. Just because they do not reissue the thunderstorm warning does not mean that it's safe. I'll try to, let me try that again without all the negatives. This is still going to cause lightning. This is still going to be unsafe for people to be at Memorial Stadium. And this is still going to cause a delay. The organizers don't want you to get injured. Zach Bryan doesn't want to get hurt. He's going to hold off. And then, let me tell you, he's going to come out and bring just a barn burner of a show. Performers know. And they will, if you bring it for them after waiting for a delay, they will bring it for you as well. Any Swifties out there, remember the rain shows in Foxborough, the lightning in Nashville? Yeah, she absolutely brought it for those shows. Do the same thing here. So trust me, that is worth being patient for here as this line of storms moves through. So even though we might not have the severe thunderstorm warnings extended in Lincoln, maybe in southern Lancaster County, maybe down toward Gage County as well, that there's still lightning with this, and it will still be within that 10-mile halo, in addition to some very heavy rainfall. All right, let's put a track on this. Now, everything's been moving off to the east a little bit slower. There's the leading edge here of this storm, moving off to the east. I'm going to double check my speed here really quick. So let me take that off really fast. I'm going to double check my speed for this squall line because, yeah, it's at 30 miles an hour. I'm going to do it at 20. So this is a 20 mile an hour estimate here as it moves off to the east. And we'll go for a full hour. All right, so here's the next hour. So that means this line, and this is the leading edge of the heavy rainfall and possibly some gusty winds coming through Malcolm within the next couple of minutes, Denton at 7:10, Cushman at 7:17. It says amphitheater. I'm going to guess that might be, what is it? Pinewood Bowl. There we go. Whew. Y'all, I've been back for 4 weeks, and I'm pulling out Pinewood Bowl. Let's go. Lincoln proper at 7:36, and then Waverly at 7:52. This is the leading edge of the steady to heavy rain, the leading edge of some gusty winds, and then behind that, it's still going to produce maybe a little bit of small hail and the lightning. The lightning is the key here. All right, let's go back to the Weather Service. No additional reports fantastic news there. We always love hearing that storms might be weakening a little bit. All right, I'm clicking through more NDOT cameras to see if I can find a cool looking one here. Because as this storm is moving closer to Lincoln, it gets, ooh, that's a neat looking one. That's all right. All right, I'm trying to remember how to do this. All the things I'm clicking here. There we go. Take that. Cut. Bam. Let's go. So there's the NDOT camera I-80 at Northwest 24th Street. You can see the leading edge of this is producing cool looking cloud. Behind that, you can see the structure of the thunderstorm. Oh, this is so cool. You can see the kind of the overhang, the shelf cloud there. That's on the rightmost side of the dark cloud. You can see the leading edge of the rain, kind of how it gets a little bit darker. That's the wind kind of rushing out, blowing the rain out ahead of the main core. The lighter rain and the hail is behind that, kind of under the date there, the 4/25/26. That's probably the hail core with it. Really cool. If I could control this camera, I would love to just pan it up a little bit so we could see the structure of this. That looks really, really cool. But once again, it's a cool looking storm coming into Lincoln, but it's also one where it is concerning because it's still producing the lightning, still producing the small hail. So I've been doing this. Let's see. Let's do a quick reset here. If you've been watching me on stream, thank you so much for putting up with me. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Serwe. First time here on the live desk at First Alert 6, and with good reason, because we have a line of storms, severe storms, not concerning enough to be cutting in on air, cutting over the Hawks and the Knicks. Knicks are currently up 14 on the Hawks, so you're not missing anything there. But we have this line of storms that's moving into a pretty important event. A lot of people had this date circled to see Zach Bryan at Memorial Stadium, and I wanted to make sure I'm doing everything I can to get the information out there that people need to be inside. They need to be in a car. They need to be in a building. They need to be at least protecting themselves as this line of storms pushes into Lincoln and then moves out. And we'll let you know when we have the all clear there. I do have to, as I look at it, kind of nice that we didn't have a 5 and a 6 o'clock show today because of basketball. I got to sit here and learn how to do this. And now I will stop talking and show you the radar once again. So we still have the severe thunderstorm warnings that are part of this line, and they trimmed the northern one. That's some good news there. So this still goes for another 90 seconds or so. They might reissue that one just because of the hail core, but they're not as concerned about that as they are the storm that was moving into Lincoln. That does go until 7:45. I wonder if they're going to ride that out. But this is the one that's probably the most pressing for Lincoln right now. The severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Lancaster, Saline, and an extreme southeastern corner of Seward County until 7:45. 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds possible with this storm. And I will keep saying it, the lightning is the most concerning part. Switching over to the hail mode, I'm going to put this on a loop because I want to see how this is trending. Because if I can encourage people in any way, shape, or form who might be watching this from around the Memorial Stadium area to seek shelter, well, the hail's kind of fizzling out. You can see it's kind of moving north along that line. Less hail, still could be there from every once in a while. The winds, I'll switch over to this mode, get a couple wind speeds. Getting closer, oh, poof, 7 o'clock, that warning's gone. But still, there are 40 to 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts on the north side of that line. Zoom in a little bit more, and south side of that line, even if I'm really cherry-picking some of the brightest colors, yeah, maybe 30, 40-mile-an-hour winds. Great news. Great news that this would be weakening. But remember, we also have one more. I'll complete the thought here. We still have one more severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Lancaster County, northwestern Gage County, and southern Saline County, and that goes until 7:45. Inch and a quarter hail, so half-dollar size hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds there. And that's the storm that looks kind of the meanest right now, because we do have those hail cores. That one near Dakin that the Weather Service was mentioning, another one kind of between Friend and Crete. If there's any hail there, that's where it would be with those storms. And yeah, sure enough, it's probably going to be, inch and a half hail between Dakin and Plymouth, and that's moving right down. I'll zoom in and get that highway to pop up, Highway 4. So northern Jefferson County, right down Highway 4, that's where we have the biggest hail right now. Heads up toward Beatrice and Pickerel. That's where we could see that hail core moving. But as long as we have this line that's moving toward Lincoln, I'm going to stay here, and you're more than welcome to stay and watch me talk about the weather, because I love talking about the weather. In Omaha, again, if you're watching it from anywhere in the Omaha metro, rain's going to be moving in. It's held off long enough that you could get a lot of your Saturday activities done. Congrats. Very happy for that. The lightning on the northern part of this, you can see a couple of lightning strikes showing up still between Schuyler and David City, or along the Platte River, along Highway 92. If I drag it to the south, there's the lightning that I'm still concerned with around Lincoln and toward Milford. So even though they're likely not reissuing the severe thunderstorm warning, they still have the heavy rainfall, still have the lightning issue to deal with in Lincoln. What was I going to do? Had a very good idea of what I wanted to do next, and now I totally forgot. There's the hail. Hail's not showing up as much, so this is mainly going to be rain. It's mainly going to be wind as it moves off to the east. And farther south, there's that second hail core that's kind of showing up towards Saline County, down toward, that's the big one, toward Dakin. That's going to move toward Beatrice. And even, that's some pretty heavy rain. That's over toward Malcolm right now. All right, let's switch over. I'm going to save this camera view so I can go back easily for y'all. So this is that 10-mile circle around the stadium. And I've shown this a few times before. If you're just joining the stream, or if you weren't paying attention as much before, you can see lightning inside that circle. So what does that mean? 10 miles, usually 10 to 12 miles is the average radius that you put out from a outdoor event, a stadium, because 10 to 12 miles is the acceptable distance where researchers say, yep, you can still be struck by lightning. So anywhere inside that circle, if we have a lightning strike, yes, an event should be delayed. And if you are, if you remember back in the day, the first Scott Frost game against Akron, how they kicked off and then that was that, similar scenario where lightning moved into that halo, didn't move out of that halo for a long time, and that game got canceled. Now, tonight, I'll zoom out, and I do not believe that we will have a cancellation for Zach Bryan. Here's the loop. Here's the last 30 minutes. There is a little more development, and I'll kind of draw it here. There's a little more lightning that's developing toward York. That should move off to the north. Again, that 10... Ooh, that's a terrible arrow. But that 10-mile halo, if I go back to that real quick, that 10-mile halo, northwest Lancaster County is okay. Northwest Lancaster County would still mean people are safe. That's some good news there. So that little area of heavy rain around York, this is the one that will likely move into northwest Lancaster County and eventually up toward the Omaha Metro. That would not be something that causes a delay at Memorial Stadium. If we start to see more rain and lightning developing farther southwest, kind of like this, that's where we would be concerned. But we're not seeing lightning. Rain's okay. Rain is okay for a show. It's not pleasant, but it's not going to cause a cancellation. And this is what I was mentioning in my forecast last night. This is what I was mentioning in the forecast this morning, that there's going to be a line coming through, and there would be delays, but it's not going to be a cancellation. Could just be a pretty late night in Lincoln. That is all. And that's what we're looking at here. Let me go back to the National Weather Service Yeah, no additional discussion here, no additional warnings. That's great. That's wonderful news. Now, as we go through tonight, I'll take a quick break about tonight. I'll bring it back on camera as I start organizing things. So if I'm not looking directly at you, it's because I'm trying to get my graphics ready to show you this. We still have the potential for some severe weather tomorrow. And a lot of it's going to have to do with kind of where this front is tonight and into tomorrow morning. But if I zoom out, that's a little much. All right, let's go back to it. Two different peripheral mice here. I'm trying to remember the right one. There we go. So you can see how we have this big old front, and there we go. That's what I wanted to do. We have this front that's draped down. Nope, that's an arrow. Never mind. Click the wrong button. Go me. I haven't been doing this for 15 years. We have a big old front right down here, and you can see there's another area of low pressure coming out of the Rockies. This one's going to kind of meander north. And the trend with this for the last several days has been slowly leaking farther and farther north. Now, today, the severe weather, the yellow that you see there, those are severe thunderstorm watches that are across parts of Kansas and Oklahoma. And then the red, those are all tornado watches, unfortunately, all around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It includes Oklahoma City as well. They need a break from the severe weather down there after that tornado that went through Enid. Unfortunately, they're not going to get that tonight. But we have the potential to see severe weather kind of lift north tomorrow. Here's the severe weather outlook for today, and you can see how it's kind of bullseyed down where we have those tornado watches issued, the Red River Valley, Oklahoma, or east of Oklahoma City, south of the Tulsa area. And in eastern Nebraska, we have a level 1 out of 5 risk. Severe storms are possible. That's kind of what we've seen. We saw 1 or 2 severe storms back toward Lincoln, toward York, down toward Beatrice. Yeah, this is a pretty good forecast for it. Now, look what happens tomorrow. Yeah, the weather the Storm Prediction Center has had the level 3 risk. Some people know it as enhanced. A better way of putting that is seeing several severe storms. That's down toward the Kansas border, south of Lincoln. Again, this is tomorrow. It says Sunday up there. Tomorrow we have the potential to see several severe storms across southeast Nebraska, and then potential for a couple of severe storms as well up toward Omaha. Now, the timing for this, again, this is tomorrow. It would be late in the afternoon and into the evening. It might actually look kind of similar to what we're going through today, where we have a line that develops late in the afternoon and evening, but there's going to be a little more energy with it, better dynamics coming through, a little more moisture. I've been mentioning the dew points a lot, those low dew points that are in the upper 40s and low 50s. That's not a lot of energy to feed these storms. Tomorrow, dew points are going to be a little bit higher. They'll be mid to upper 50s in Omaha, low 60s down to our south, and that's why we have that better energy for maybe some stronger thunderstorms on Sunday. So by this time tomorrow, yes, we could be doing this all over again. Meteorologist Emily Roller will be in tomorrow. I'll be in as well if it gets really bad. Maybe I'll be jumping right here back on the live desk. So that's what we have this weekend. We have the potential for another round of severe storms tomorrow. I'm hoping that we don't, because even though you might think meteorologists love talking about severe weather, and we do, we can, I'd rather not. I'd rather have a nice Sunday. But I'd rather also, kind of like what I'm doing here, I'm going to be doing everything I can to make sure you're staying safe. All right, let's get back to the weather at hand. The line really has weakened. I'm gonna go back an hour and a half here. Let's do 2 hours. Why not? There we go. So 5:30. You can see this line really started to strengthen, and that's where it started to get concerning, coming through Seward with some strong winds, with some hail. And then, as we went through the 6 o'clock hour and getting towards 7, loses a lot of the reds, a lot of the purples. Still has some lightning, and farther to the south, still has a pretty nasty-looking part right along the Saline and Jefferson County line that'll be heading toward northern Gage County, maybe toward Tecumseh. Ooh, another place that had baseball-sized hail. On Thursday, a place that does not need more hail. That's the hail core to watch. This one right here, that is going to be the one to watch north of Beatrice, Tecumseh, maybe as far east as Auburn if it can hold strength. But farther north, we're not going to be dealing with that. Farther north, if you hear some rumbles of thunder up toward another place that had a tornado earlier this week, toward Pisgah, toward Little Sioux, toward Ottawa, that's all just normal stratiform rain up there. That's the good type of rain. That's the stuff that farmers want to see this time of year. Down towards Schuyler as well, David City. You don't really start to see lightning, actually cloud-to-ground lightning, until you get toward the Seward-Butler County line, the Saunders-Lancaster County line, and then unfortunately toward Lincoln, where we absolutely did not want to see lightning tonight. They still have lightning moving in. The heavy rain still just about, let's see, how many miles are we from Lincoln? I remember this is crawling. This is moving at 15 to 20 miles an hour. So this is still going to be another hour or so before it actually reaches the heaviest rain, reaches Memorial Stadium. Light rain right now. Another reminder, just like, hey, oh yeah, the rain's coming in. We should probably get inside. And the line kind of trails back off to the southwest. I'm going to look at this real quick. That lightning's an indicator of strength, and it's an indicator of updraft strength. And it could mean a hail core, it could mean rotation. Earlier, that hail core looked a lot more menacing. Right now, the radar's saying about 0.8 of an inch, so about nickel-sized hail there. But if I drag this back a little bit, those darker blues toward Dakin, even the purple, am I able to click on that? Yeah, I am. 1.5 inch hail about 25 minutes ago, and now we're not seeing those dark blues. What about the wind? Not much in the way of rotation. You see the red and the green next to each other. If you have an updraft that's producing that type of hail, yeah, there might be some weak rotation, but it's not spinning very fast. No, and even switching to that mode, it's not spinning fast at all. Great news. If it's just producing hail, okay, not good. If you know someone who lives in Swanton area toward DeWitt. Again, Pickerel, that's going to be another place that could be dealing with this hail core as it moves east. It's not good, but at least we're not seeing some strong rotation with that. Rain starting to cross over into the Elkhorn area, just light rain. You can still maybe have a fire pit going for a little bit, Elkhorn toward Bennington. This is just radar clutter toward Midtown Omaha, toward the West Side District, toward downtown Omaha, and then the real rain, the heavier rain. And that starts to move in once you get toward Lancaster County. So yeah, I'll probably, my plan here, again, is just to stay on here, make sure people have a way of getting weather information if they're in the Lincoln area. Technically a different market than ours, but I want to make sure that I'm providing information. A lot of people from the Omaha area went down to see the show tonight. They might have the First Alert 6 streaming app. They might have the First Alert 6 weather app. Both great tools that you can use in these situations. You get the warnings based on your location on the First Alert 6 weather app. You see, oh, wow, severe thunderstorm warning, Lancaster County. And then you flip over to the First Alert 6 streaming app. Boom, you got me talking about the weather, letting you know exactly where it is. That's the system we have designed here, and it's really great. It's really a fantastic way to keep you informed, so you're never left second guessing. You're never left wondering, is this going to be dangerous? What do I have to do to prepare? Thankfully tonight, the information I have to give you, the easiest way to prepare is just stay inside, be patient. That's my line to people who are in Lincoln tonight, people who might be waiting for this show to start. Put on the lightning again. Still a few lightning strikes. It's not a lot. I know. I get that. But it only takes one. It only takes one of those lightning strikes moving toward Lincoln to cause some significant issues. All right. Pardon me. I think I need to take a drink of water here because I've been talking pretty much for a good hour and a half straight. TV people don't like dead air. But this is streaming. This is different. I watch enough streamers where they don't talk for, a minute or two and it feels like an eternity when you're on that side. feels double as long when you're on this side. Trust me. So there's that line. Spotter. Okay. Wow, that's a big wall of text. Let's see. Dime-sized hail, West Waverly Road, around Lincoln. Reading, talking about the storm near Pleasantdale, so I'm assuming that's going to be the one down here. I see Swanton. I don't see Pleasantdale popping up. And again, I'm trying to. I was gone for four and a half years. I'm trying to remember all of my. There we go. What's weird is they said Pleasantdale. I wonder if they meant Pleasant Hill. I wouldn't be surprised if they meant Pleasant Hill. Let's see. Yeah, they're saying essentially they're saying Lincoln would not need a warning, but it's still close enough to keep an eye on. And the warning, there's a part of me, and as I, editorialize slightly, I'll come back on camera. This is just me as a weather professional. I get why the Weather Service isn't putting out a warning here, because this is not a severe thunderstorm. We're not seeing the wind speeds. We're not seeing the hail reports. There's a part of me that would have liked to see a warning get issued, if only to reinforce to people that, hey, you don't want to be outside in Lincoln right now. I don't exactly know Lancaster County's siren policy, because those vary by county, municipality to municipality. Another bane of my existence as a broadcast meteorologist. If Lincoln or Lancaster County sound sirens for thunderstorm warnings, okay, then I understand not doing it. It's just any way that you can get people to take this seriously. Because in the grand scheme of things, no, it's a thunderstorm that's producing lightning at this point. Lightning, heavy rain, maybe some pea-sized hail. A warning, probably would have been just another one of those things that would have told people, hey, this is something that you shouldn't just kind of shrug off. But issuing a warning for lightning is extreme, so I can't fault the Weather Service at all. I'm playing armchair quarterback on the live desk. So it's one of those things where I just want people to stay safe, and why not use every tool in our arsenal when you have a situation like this? But again, I can't fault them, because there's just a handful of lightning strikes. The hail detection on this, it's nothing. It's pea-sized hail at the absolute most. That is it. It's not a lot. Wind speeds, slight bowing out. That's probably the lowering that everyone's been seeing coming into the Lincoln area. That right here. Just something that looks cool. That's all it is. And then down to the south, that's where you have the rest of this ragged line. So if you have been watching and say you're in southern Lancaster County, all right, let's talk about this severe thunderstorm warning. This severe thunderstorm warning, this is the one that's actually going to be probably the one that not only produces some gusty winds, a little more lightning, and some heavy rainfall, it's also going to be the one that produces the most hail coming up here in the next hour or so. This one goes until 7:45. It officially goes for about another half hour or so for parts of Lancaster, Gage, Jefferson, and Saline County. And if I'm being real honest with you, it's basically Crete, Wilbur, down toward Plymouth, move through Dakin. So this is likely going to be something that heads toward Hickman, towards Beatrice, toward Pickerel there, right along Highway 77. That Highway 77 corridor, this one is going to be the one where we see gusty winds and hail. The hail mode, yeah, that's still showing severe hail. Yeah, 1-inch hail, right on the nose, severe hail. A lot more lightning, the potential, a little kind of hook / bulge there. Anytime you see kind of this direction on the radar, shows some gusty winds, the potential for maybe a little bit of rotation. This one, not much. Yeah, red and green together, yes, but very broad. Very, very broad rotation with that. So this line's going to keep moving to the east. Let's go big picture here real quick. Put on a loop. This is a 1 hour loop. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. So this is a 1 hour loop. You can see it basically, here's some behind the curtain type thing. One thing that I usually do to kind of cheat to see how quickly these storms are moving is I look at counties. And this thing is pretty much crossing one county. It's crossing Saline County in 1 hour, give or take. Give or take. So that means we have, and all these counties are about the same width-ish. So that's one more hour. That's going to be by, let's say, 8:30. Another one, Casanova County are a little bit longer, so I'm kind of going based on how that is. That's going to be your kind of 9:30, 9:45 line. And then you go one more county, and it'll be crossing into Iowa toward the Shenandoah area by about 11 o'clock or so. So that's, my sincere apologies for how this is going to look right now, but this is about, I can't make an 8 with this. It's so much easier on the telestrator. It's so much easier on the touchscreen. That's so cool. But either way, right? I'll do this. This is the line. That's 8 o'clock. This line, Tecumseh, that's 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock, Nebraska City and Auburn. 11 o'clock, Shenandoah. So 8. Okay, let me get my pointer again. 8, 9, 10, 11. That's going to be the arrival time for what is the strongest part of this line. I don't think it's going to stay this strong as it goes all the way through. That's just kind of where it's going to be going. That hail heading toward Beatrice, maybe just north. Lightning, still. I know. It's not a lot of heavy rain. It's not a severe storm, but it's still lightning inside that halo, or it's going to be moving inside that halo. If we see all the red disappear on that within the next half hour or so, maybe they can get on before 9 o'clock. But that's what we would need to do. This line is moving incredibly slowly. It is just plodding along here. Let's go back to the Hastings radar real quick. See what's happening behind that. Yeah, you can kind of see this first line. It's going to be eating up all the energy. This first line's going nom 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 to any of the moisture that's out there. Those dew points that are in the low to mid 50s. It's not a lot, but it's still something. What's trailing back here is probably just some residual lift right along the cold front. Yeah, cold front's good enough to maybe push some air up, but it can't sustain anything. It kind of just bubbles up and fizzles out. That's good news for people who are in Lincoln tonight. That's some great news. Great news. It means it's going to be, hopefully, once this comes through, that's going to be the ball game, and people are going to be able to see a show tonight. Oh man. We have a friend of ours who's at the concert in Lincoln, just hoping that this can pass soon. Annie, if you're watching, if you just happen to be watching the First Alert 6 stream, thank you. That means my husband did the right thing and sent you the link. But if you're watching from Memorial Stadium right now, I know it's kind of painful. It's not optimal that it's just light rain coming in right now. There's no severe weather heading toward Lincoln. There is that one warning that goes until 7:45, but it's weakened a lot. It's just the lightning. You don't mess with lightning in situations like this. Golfers know. Hey, I'm a triple threat. I'm a weather nerd. I love going to concerts, and I'm a golfer. So I take lightning extremely seriously. Even though I'd love to go have fun outside, doing whatever, but you just don't play around with it. You let it pass. You live to fight another day. That's that. There's the next radar scan. Heavier rain's getting closer to Lincoln. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning down to the south, and this is for that hail core that I was talking about that's near Beatrice. So new severe thunderstorm warning. Tiny warning. Itty-bitty warning. That means this thing is crawling. Yeah. 8:30, this warning goes basically for Highway 77 and westward in northwestern Gage County. So it includes Beatrice, it includes Pickerel, for inch and a quarter size hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. And it is moving to the east at, get this, 15 miles an hour. That is slow. So if I put a track on this, I'll have to readjust it real quick because this is, I believe this is slower than I had it before. Yeah, I had it 20 miles an hour before. Now I'm taking it down to 15. All right. So if I go here, and we go all the way out to the end of the warning. So that means this hail core, with again, inch and a quarter sized hail, DeWitt over you right now, Beatrice 805, Pickerel 806. So that Highway 77 corridor in Gage County, you're going to be seeing this potential hail, lots of lightning, maybe some brief gusty winds, just around 8 o'clock. So just as the sun's starting to go down. Still only the south side of this line. North side, okay, we're starting to see fewer lightning strikes on the north side of it, but we still have that one. See that one? I'll try to keep Lincoln in picture here. That one red core, still hanging on for dear life. But that's what's producing the lightning. That's the updraft. That's producing the differential of charges, or the differentiation in charges, and you get a little bit of hail, pea-sized hail, dime-sized hail, give or take, and a heck of a lot of lightning. And that'll be moving right into Lincoln. There's that. I'm going to go poke around at more NDOT cameras real quick. Yeah, starting to see rain on the windshields of some of these cameras. Not as many cool-looking shots as before, and I wouldn't expect that because it's kind of weakening a little bit. It's still, it's still a thunderstorm that's producing lightning, but that's about all it is. Let's see. New update. All right. So for people who are at the show, and thank you to Michael, our director of news, for this update. They're saying due to impending thunderstorms, we're delaying opening the doors until it's passed. Please stay tuned for updates. We'll monitor the incoming weather, and any future announcements will be on Zach Bryan's and the Huskers' social media platforms. And that's probably the best thing to do. I had some people on Facebook asking me earlier, hey, how can I get updates about the show or everything? I said, Zach Bryan, Huskers' social media. That's going to be it. They're the ones calling the shots here, and they're the ones that can get the most amount of information out to a lot of people before. I think when I made my video this morning, I tagged Zach Bryan. I think he had 3.5 million followers on TikTok or something like that. So that's the easy way to get information out. Just get someone with that type of a following to post social media, and so yeah, that's where we're at. It's still a wait and see type of thing, because this line, they're just waiting for this line to come through. That's all it is. It's this excruciating waiting game of trying to get the thunderstorms to finally clear Lincoln. It's frustrating when it looked like these storms, and if you're watching me on my Facebook page, I posted a little after 5 o'clock. I thought this would come through by 6, but these storms just threw on the brakes. Just when they were coming through here, that line, it looked like, okay, yeah, they're moving 30 miles an hour or so. When they started to come through eastern Seward, eastern Saline County, they dropped to 15 miles an hour. So just an excruciatingly unfortunate slowing of this line that they need to wait to clear before they let people into the stadium. And it's not there yet. Steady rain in Lincoln. Cold rain, probably. Let's take a look at what the temperatures are. I'm kind of curious. Now with that rain coming through, Lincoln is down to 57. Whoo! That's why I said you don't want to wait outside. I mean, you have the lightning, yes, obviously. Lightning is a big deal with this storm, and that is literally the reason why I jumped on. But can you imagine getting just soaked in rain, and then it's 57 degrees outside? Oh, that is rough. That's really rough. And it's just light rain at this time. Light to steady rain. That's what the green is on radar. Let's go back to that here. That it'll pop up in just a second. That green is light rain. Dark green is steady rain. The yellows, that's what I would start to call heavy rain. As long as it's just light to steady rain, yeah, you can probably be outside and you'd be okay. But 57 degrees and steady rain, ugh. And look at that, a lightning bolt that's easily, I think that almost is directly over Memorial Stadium. Let's go back to that graphic. Again, the center of it, when I built this earlier today, the absolute center of this is Memorial Stadium, right about here, give or take. And then I just, boop, found 10 miles, and I put a circle on it and called it a day. Any lightning inside this, they are absolutely not going to let people into the stadium. They're not going to let Zach Bryan perform. They would not let the Huskers play football because it's not safe for anyone on the field. And if it's not safe for anyone on the field, it's not safe for anyone in the stands. Free piece of advice there. If it's too dangerous for people to be playing, it's too dangerous for people to be watching. And that is something that I wish I could get more people to understand, because they don't take lightning seriously. And I get that. I understand. You've never been struck by lightning. I think I might know one person that's been struck by lightning, like actually in my life. But we all know someone whose house has been hit by a tornado. We can all say that. That's why we take tornadoes seriously. And obviously they're a lot scarier. But lightning, it's a lower number of fatalities every year. Nevertheless, one is always too many, and it's preventable. And that's why they're waiting for this line to move through Lincoln tonight, and then we'll have a good old time at Memorial Stadium. Once again, if you're watching from Omaha, I'm starting to look outside in our down Farnham Street toward Little India, and it's darker. The wind's starting to pick up a little bit, so we're starting to see a little bit of that rain move into the Omaha metro. This is just going to be rain. If you want to be outside, if you are for some reason on a patio somewhere and you have a heater, because I'll tell you, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s with a little rain, still a little chilly for my taste, but it's still safe to be outside in Omaha. You will definitely get wet, though. I know Creighton, if I remember, Creighton had a game today, and are they on the road? Nah, trying to remember things on the fly here, and I'm not going to try and pull that one out. But farther to the northwest, you're not seeing any lightning strikes, just steady rain. Tacoma, toward Scribner, toward Fremont, down toward North Bend, Schuyler, all the way through Saunders County. Just a nice, quiet rain. Starts to get a little noisy there. Dwight, Valparaiso, Ceresco, Malcolm. I feel like it's been raining in Malcolm for the last 2 hours with how slow this line is coming through. Let's flip over that. So I know it says 6-hour rainfall total, but it hasn't been raining for 6 hours. Let's take a look at some of that. That's, wow. So I have to click on this again to get some values to pop in. Oh, there we go. So 3 inches there in the yellow, or in the orange, 2.5 in the yellow. Probably some 1 to 2 inch rain totals. Again, these kind of overshoot a little bit with the hail that was out there. But Seward County, a lot of Seward County, 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain. That's what you can expect in Lincoln. That's a soaking rain. Up toward Butler County, David City, about 1.25 inches, 1/2 inch toward Columbus. Again, these are radar estimates, but it's a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain out there. And that's when the line was moving faster. Now it's starting to slow down a little bit. So let's look at the last 1 hour, especially down here. I can do that. Why not? Average accumulation, 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Probably a little bit closer to 1 inch. Coming down here toward southern Saline, extreme northern Jefferson County, probably closer to 1 inch there. Let's bring it back. Let's go to live radar. And now it's starting to bow out, so it's probably going to be less of a hail issue and less. There's still probably some hail in here. Let's click on the hail. Yeah, that's That's severe hail. That's 1 inch hail, 1.25 inches, maybe up to 1.5 inches between DeWitt and Plymouth, heading toward Beatrice. So if you're in Beatrice, put a quick track on this for you. Beatrice and Pickerel. Let's get those arrival times. This line keeps slowing down. I remember before I said it'd be close to the Highway 77 corridor, so 8 o'clock-ish. Now it's like 8:10, maybe 8:15. That's the arrival time for the hail in Beatrice. Lots of lightning with that too. That probably looks great on an NDOT camera. I'll go wide view here. Show Lincoln. I'll get Omaha on the screen too. Put on a loop, and I'll go clicking around NDOT cameras again. See if we can get one toward Beatrice, because I bet that looks really cool there. Yeah, there's not too many. I know, shocking for me to say, not too many NDOT cameras in northern Gage County. There's one that looks kind of cool. Nah, nothing worth bringing up that screen. Look at that rain. Just some nice rain. Nice quiet rain. Across northeast Nebraska, northwest Iowa. All right. Let's check Weather Service here real quick. See if they're saying anything. Wonder if they've gotten any more reports. Nope, no additional reports. Last thing they put out on Slack was at 7:24, so about 15 minutes ago. There's no watches out, just the handful of warnings. That one in Lancaster County, I feel like that's been going on forever. They issued that right around 7, and it's almost 7:40, and it still hasn't made it to the other side. That shows you how slow this is moving, just painfully slow for people in Lincoln. So all right, let's do a little more. Let's do some diagnostics here. So the back edge of the line with the lightning, it would need to travel. And again, this is what I do. If you were wondering what meteorologists do when we're just not doing a show, not talking about severe weather, and this is happening, this is exactly what we're doing. This is the little tricks of the trade. So there's the back edge of the lightning. We need that to get all the way to the other side of this circle. So right about, let's say 23 miles. If it's moving at 15 miles an hour, that means we have at least another hour before it clears. So about a half hour ago, but as these were slowing down, I said, okay, maybe they could start the show at 8:30. I'm probably going to push that to about 9 o'clock, yeah. It's going to be a late night. It's going to be a late night, but it will happen unless, let me check this out. Let's see. Unless he's got somewhere to be tomorrow, which he doesn't. Ooh, he's going to San Sebastian, Spain. Sweet. Big fan of a Radiohead show that happened in San Sebastian back in the day. But Zach Bryan has nowhere to go for 5, 6, 7 days. So he can have a late night. He doesn't need to pack up the stage, get the crew to a different city by tomorrow morning. He's going to wait this out. And I hope everyone else does too. Like I said, we have probably until 9 o'clock. And I hope they give the openers. Kings of Leon put on a great show. Hope they give both openers their due time here. Clear that off there. So yeah, that's the That's a 10-mile halo where they're like, nah, we don't want any lightning in there. And usually they'll wait. Oh, that's cool, seeing the lightning bolts disappear. Positive sign. So usually after the last lightning strike in there, it's a half-hour wait. But if they get on the other side of that, I have a feeling if they get on the other side of that circle, away from Lincoln, I bet they would start the clock. If it gets out toward right about here, I bet they would start that half-hour clock. And then, as always, it's a process. Remember, it's not boom, lightning's gone. All right, everyone in. Nope, they gotta dry off the stage because they got all that heavy rain coming in. They have to make sure it's safe for the performers. They have to make sure that everything's ready on the field level. Then they have to let you in. It's not going to be a stampede where they're like, okay, everyone, go. No, it's going to be organized, and it's going to take probably, from that 8:45, 9 o'clock. Okay, everything's safe. It's going to take another 10 minutes to get people at the doors, ticket takers or ticket scanners, as it were. Maybe another 15 or 20 minutes to get people going inside. I'll probably have one of the openers start as people are coming in, just kind of move things along. So again, I'd probably say Zach Bryan won't be going on until 10:30, 10:15, depending on how long they want to go. I mean, it's a Saturday night in Lincoln. It's not like they're studying for finals in the next couple of weeks or anything like that. They can be loud, right? Let people have fun right before finals. It could be a pretty late night here coming up in Lincoln. Thankfully, it's not going to be a late night in Omaha. We're not seeing anything happening this far north. These things threw on the brakes. They weakened. They moved south. There was a chance that something would have held on and maybe gotten towards Sarpy County, but this line really not doing anything. It's hitting those dew points in the low to mid 50s, and the dew points farther to the north in the 40s. It's hitting those, and because we have dew points in the 40s across a lot of Douglas County, it's hitting those and just saying, nope, I can't. I cannot anymore. And there's that. So that last severe thunderstorm warning, this one goes until 7:45. This is the last one that the Weather Service issued for the Lincoln area, or that would be heading toward Lincoln, to be clear. And once that's gone, that'll probably be it for at least central Lancaster County. Or southern Lancaster County, that might be one more. Yeah, there's that Boeing line down to the south again. And that's great. I just want to push this thing through Lincoln. Just go. Still a few more lightning strikes. I'll tell you what. Because I do actually have a TV broadcast to get ready for by about 10 o'clock. And I should eat a little dinner before that as well. I will probably wrap this up around 8 o'clock. Unless for some reason there's another warning that's issued around the Lincoln area, or these storms pulse up again and start creating a lot of lightning. I think that this is going to be something that really fizzles out here pretty quickly. And then I'll start wrapping up the stream. But until then, again, just I want to be that. I'll be that resource for people wondering, why is this taking so long? Why aren't they letting anyone in? There's a reason for it, and I'll be here to explain it. It's because of this here lightning bolt around Malcolm. These two down toward Pleasantdale and Denton. That's within Malcolm is almost, but that stuff within Denton's within the 10-mile circle. So as long as we still have lightning there, they're gonna say no. And it's the storm around Malcolm. This updraft is falling apart pretty quickly. The one down toward Denton might take just a little bit longer, and that's kind of unfortunate because it's going to be moving through the meaty part of this circle. If it could just dive south toward Highway 77 and get out of the circle quicker, everyone would be much happier. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. Let's put that in a loop. I'll switch that to a half-hour loop. Come on now, let's start playing. There's your half-hour loop. And yeah, that's moving. It's moving in the opposite direction. That is going to move pretty much directly across the middle of that circle, taking the absolute longest time to clear the safety radius around Memorial Stadium. So that's why the best case scenario here is that nothing else, no other lightning strikes, but there was one more new one in here. So reset that 30-minute clock. Every new lightning strike, reset the 30-minute clock. There's one that's just outside of it. No more hail. Pea-sized hail. That's nothing. Down toward Denton. That's not a lot. This down here, let's take a look. If anyone's watching toward the Beatrice area, you're curious about that storm. That one looks pretty mean on radar. Getting close to 1-inch hail still. It's not as big as it was before. Not in the slightest. Oh yeah, that's right. All right, thanks for that. That was much. I literally discovered again. I had a mute button on the soundboard, so if you've been hearing me, sniffle and kind of cough and drinking water, I could have been cutting that out this entire time with the mute button, but I totally forgot it was there. I'm used to having just a completely live mic on TV. That's my thing. All right, back to the radar. There it is. Just rain in Omaha. Again, if you're watching in Omaha, it's just rain. Did they drop that last warning? Yeah. No more crawl on the TV screen? Wow. Yeah, all things go. All things go. I love it. That's some heavy rainfall, though, in northern. They're about to start seeing the heavy rainfall in the Memorial Stadium area. So we're going to stay with this for another 10 minutes or so, and then I'll wind things up around 8 o'clock, because I really believe at that point the concern is going to be gone out of Lincoln. The lightning has been diminishing rapidly. Just looking at the NDOT cameras around the Lincoln area, it's wet. Yeah, that's about it. A lot of wet roads out there, not in the anything in the way of ponding or not even seeing cars kick up rain behind it. So it's good news for people traveling. Not the best for people sitting outside Memorial Stadium right now. There's that lightning. Wind. Not doing anything. I really shouldn't be clicking on those other than the lightning, because this is not going to be a severe storm. This is not going to all of a sudden pulse up and be, oh my gosh, we're getting strong winds. This is a collapsing line of storms. That's what we're seeing. And as it collapses, could it produce some gusty winds in Lincoln? Sure, but it's done. I just want to stay on here to, again, let people know, hey, this is why we're seeing a delay. And I'm looking back down to the southwest. Come on, can we not? So the exasperation you hear in my voice is the development of a few more lightning-producing storms back to the southwest of Lincoln. Because see the general trend of everything is moving off to the north and east. So it's going to follow that line. And until that absolute last edge of lightning clears, right there, it's nothing's going to happen in Lincoln. They're going to hold people off. And it might be we have to wait for this clearing that's all the way back well southwest of Lincoln. So that could mean it takes a little bit longer. I've been trying to be optimistic with the times. I really have been. I was hoping that line would come through. It would just be that, and one and done. That's it. And for the most part, it is. The frustrating part is that it got really slow as it moved toward Lincoln. It just threw on the brakes immediately and went from 35 miles an hour to 15 miles an hour like it hit a school zone or something. And we still have more development on the backside of that. So you just keep adding more and more time, and then you start wondering, okay, what's the no-go time here? And that's a decision that's out of my hands. I can only tell you what I'm seeing on the radar. I can only tell you kind of what's happening on the back edge of it, and it's up to event organizers to be like, okay, this is, unless we start the show at this time, we're not going to do it. And I don't think we're quite in that territory yet. I really, really don't. But it's this back line toward Dorchester, toward central Saline County, that could just make it last a little bit longer. So just be patient. Just be patient. Now, if we're in Omaha, if you're watching this from Omaha, you can see a few more lightning strikes starting to pop up toward Wahoo. I'll be heading toward Elkhorn and Bennington. So, okay, maybe it's time to, if the steady rain in the orange or the yellow and the dark green, if that didn't get you to go inside, lightning should. But it's probably time to start wrapping things up in Westo down toward Gretna as that rain moves in. And then farther to the southwest, just that one severe thunderstorm warning that thankfully is going to be missing a bigger population center in Beatrice. But if you're in Pickerel, it'll get ready for probably some 1 to 1 1/4 inch hail. That's what you can expect there. And a heck of a lot of lightning. That's a storm you're gonna hear it before you see it, as far as the rain and the hail goes. All right. I said 8 o'clock, and by golly, I'm going to hold to it. All right. So since I have you here. No, them. But since I have all of you here on the stream, just kind of clicking through, kind of seeing where things are going. So let's get the looping radar back up. I'll drag this down to the south. So this is what we have today. And the severe potential. You see the Storm Prediction Center has the risk of severe weather. And that can really be trimmed. They don't put updates out on this a lot. It's just a handful of times a day. But honestly, the severe weather potential tonight, you can probably draw a line here and southward. That's where we have the severe weather potential tonight. Now, tomorrow, to give you a a first alert to when we're seeing or where the severe weather potential is tomorrow, that's going to be still mainly in southern Nebraska, southeastern Nebraska. Unfortunately, some of the same places that are seeing the strongest storms right now, toward Beatrice, potentially toward Tecumseh, down Pawnee City, Auburn, Humboldt, Falls City, Rulo. Those are the places that have a better chance of seeing severe weather on Sunday. And even in the Omaha Metro, along the I-80 corridor, heading into Sunday afternoon, there could be some storms that develop. And storms that develop with, well, I haven't updated the text here, so I clicked on something, and I'm kind of curious what this looks like. Yeah, it has. So here, I'll update the text on the fly here. So I think that tomorrow, it's not going to be a very low chance for a tornado. It's 1 or 2 possible. I'll apply that so you'll see that pop up here in just a second. There we go. Cool. It's fun doing this on. Welcome to How I Make Weather Graphics. So this is, again, and I have to change this to Sunday. But since I have, if you're watching this, if you've been watching this for as long as I've been on, or even stayed with me as the severe weather threat dwindled, you like weather, and I'm going to give you weather. So here's the quick first alert to tomorrow. Hail, that's going to be up to golf ball possible. And you know what I should do? I should click on the right keyboard. Up to golf ball possible. And winds is going to be 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts. Okay, so that's all going to update here. This is the severe weather potential for Sunday. Again, look up at the top there. Sunday, after 4 o'clock, 1 or 2 tornadoes possible, especially in southeast Nebraska. You have the potential for hail up to golf ball size. You got the brighter the colors, you see the scale up at the top. The yellow area, that's where maybe you could get a brief storm that produces up to golf ball size hail. The better chance for golf ball size hail down toward Beatrice, Falls City as well, and where we get 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts. Once again, down toward the Kansas border, but we could get some of those storms on Sunday, kind of creeping up toward the Omaha Metro, moving in a big line. A little similar to what we had out there tonight. Here's the radar again, as I kind of start to wrap things up here in the next 90 seconds. There's still lightning toward Lincoln, and just so you know, there's the 10-inch halo, plenty of lightning. It took a while for it to get there, but that storm is finally there, and it's pouring in Lincoln. There's a little bit of lightning in the just southwest of the city, and even though it's not right over Memorial Stadium, it's still in a place of concern for organizers at the Zach Bryan show. That severe thunderstorm warning down to the south still continues across northern Gage County, right along the Highway 77 corridor. That goes until 8:30 for 1.25 inch hail. That's the only severe thunderstorm warning we have right now. And in the Omaha Metro, you might hear some rumbles of thunder in the distance if you're in Gretna, maybe if you're in Valley or Waterloo, Utan, Meade, far western parts of Douglas and Sarpy County. And then putting into motion, you can see how everything is trudging off to the northeast at about 15 miles an hour. Once again, to draw your attention to it, it's these last thunderstorms that are still kind of popping up southwest of Lincoln. Once those clear, that's when I think that they will be able to get things going at Memorial Stadium. So it's still going to be a little bit here. We're still going to have people at Memorial Stadium. Again, if you want to text them an update, if you want to give them a call and let them know, it's still going to be probably about another hour or so until they get in. But they will, unless if there's for some reason a hard cutoff, like, oh my God, no, we needed everyone in here at 10 o'clock. I don't know that information. I'm not one of the event organizers. It's usually not something that they would that they would talk about. But for these one-off stadium shows, these incredibly special events, I know sometimes they can make exceptions, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that yes, they've made an exception here, and they'll allow Zach Bryan to go on, albeit a little late. If someone was trying to do this, go to this show and then still work Sunday morning or get to church, I wish you all the best of luck, because that could be a very, very late night. But at least the severe weather potential is diminishing in Lincoln. Heavy rainfall, little bit of lightning coming through between now and about 9 o'clock. That's what we're going to see. I'll have your updated Sunday forecast and the 10-day planner, let you know how much rain we could see coming up Sunday and into Monday, because it could be a lot, even for the Monday morning commute. I'll have that coming up on First Alert 6 at 10 o'clock tonight. And as always, you can always get the latest streaming forecast. Anytime we have breaking weather like this and severe weather in eastern Nebraska and western Iowa, the First Alert 6 weather app, you can get severe weather watches and warnings there. The First Alert 6 streaming app and firstalert6.com. You can get the streams there as well. All this wonderful information. Thank you for sticking with me as I got to, you got to see me experience the live desk for the first time, and this is kind of fun. So thank you very much. I'll see you at 10, and thanks for watching.